The problem that we have here is fun, and it always follows a pattern. And that pattern is about trying to get this sign out of the way at first. So I'm going to write the original expression, that is sine raised to the power of 3 and cosine raised to the power of 2. So now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to leave this sign already where it's supposed to be. So if I have sine raised to the power of 3, I can write it as sine raised to the power of 2 times sine of x times cosine squared of x. I'm just using some algebra. And I'm going to reorder. I can do that in the same step, but I want to do one step at a time. So sine squared of x times cosine squared of x. And I'm already going to lock this sine of x. And I'm going to put an actual lock here because I already have that as I want it. And I'm going to leave that part alone. So that was simply algebra. Again, and that one is already where it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to play around with the rest of the expressions. Now, if you notice, this entire thing is based on cosine and cosine. So it looks like this sign on the way. Let's try to find a way to turn that sign into a cosine. How do we do that? This identity allows us to do sine squared of x, and that would be equal to 1 minus cosine squared of x. So that would be a good idea because that everything to be expressed in terms of, because the only sign that we were looking for, we already have it. This is equal to, instead of sine squared, I'm going to write 1 minus cosine squared of x. And then I'm going to write the other cosine, the cosine squared of x. And I'm keeping the one that is already locked, the sine of x. So that is a Pythagorean identity. So that, now that I have this, looks like the cosines are all inside of the parentheses. So let's push this by multiplying. So 1 times cosine squared, that will be cosine squared of x, minus cosine squared times cosine squared, that is cosine raised to the power of 4 of x. So it is exactly what we were looking for. And finally, we have sine of x. Every problem of this kind is going to be about breaking down in this case, the sign. It could be something else, but in this case, the sign, for us to already leave the multiplying factor, the one that is out here, this sign, already locked. And then that factor that you have, that the one that you broke into 2 factors, you're going to focus on that because that is the one that it looks like an outsider. Because if you already have the only sign that's supposed to be there, we're going to try to turn this outsider into a cosine. And that will be accomplished by the Pythagorean identity. And it does not require much. So this is just algebra once again.